Hello and welcome to Transformation Now. Hi, I'm Rita Rocker, speaker, author, and trainer with SoaringHigher.rocks, and I am so happy to be here again to work through my book, Hope at the End of Your Rope, Steps to Rebuild Your Life, because many people are going through many things, and a lot of times we have to rebuild maybe just one area of our life or maybe the whole thing. And so these are things that I trust will help you and grow, and there are so many exercises and things that you can do from this book and from the workbook that can really help you to focus and to assess where you are and where you need to go and what you need to do in between. So I'm just going to back up a little bit from last program just to readdress a few things before we move forward. And one of those from chapter 11 regarding radical hope, changing the course of your life. Okay, it's talking about the visual fork in the road. You know, we have all these things over here that are familiar, that are easier, and then we have this little narrow road that might be scary, might be intimidating, and it might cause a lot of issues or fear. And yet that would be possibly the right road to go on, things that are not familiar anymore, but would be able to help you change your life. And I remember hearing a guy yesterday say on a program that his grandma used to say, if we never change anything, we never change anything. And he said when he was younger, he thought, well, that's kind of silly. And then he realized if we never change things in our life for the better, to get rid of the old and bring in the new, we never change anything, and it always stays the same year after year after year. So I really like that quote that he said. And so we think about that, and throughout my book there's so much emphasis on thought patterns, because whatever our thoughts are is what we continue to bring forward. We can't bring anything new, anything rewarding, anything healthier in any aspect or anything if we don't change our thought patterns, because our thought patterns direct us into our behaviors, our communication, how worthy we feel we are, all of that. And so think about your thought patterns again. It's a constant battle. I've battled thought patterns all my life, and even, more recently have really had to work at changing a lot of the thought patterns that always try to creep in, hit you in the back of the head, and make you think things or remember things that aren't for your good, or maybe for your family's good or your career, whatever the case may be. And so think about that. Are you feeling at all a shift in your life, in your mind, in your body, in your relationships, in your work? So we literally need to feel. What do you feel? A lot of times we think about our thoughts, but what do we feel? And so, I just really encourage you to keep stopping and thinking, how am I feeling about this? Does it make me happy? Does it make me sad? Does it make me totally distressed? What am I feeling inside? And what changes do I need to make to stop feeling angst and frustration and fear and any kind of anger or worried thoughts, whatever the case may be? What do I need to do in order to feel confident, successful, loved, appreciated, like I am adding value to other people's lives as well as my own? So we need to think not only about the thoughts first, but then feelings. What are we doing to change those feelings into ones that are positive? Because I know a lot of people are feeling very sad, feeling lonely, feeling like a failure. I've worked all my life, with this issue of failure and unworthiness, and I know that feeds more of the same. So we need to think about that, and how do we reshape our lives and our thoughts? So again, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And so think about that today as we go through this. What friends, family members, jobs, and other areas of life need to be replaced? Now, I've talked about that probably about every one of these programs. But that is so true, because a lot of times we'll think about it. Yes, I need to get rid of this relationship. Yes, I need to take some classes. Yes, I need to eat more healthy because I don't like the way I feel or the way I look. And yet, okay, what are those areas that we still need to change? It's easy to think about it, but it's sometimes really hard to actually go ahead and make those changes and put in the effort and leave certain things behind to push forward. And so think about that. So how can you change what you're doing? Again, it could be exercises, diet, health, mathematics, chemistry, things that you could even find online. YouTube has everything, absolutely everything. If you want to take dance lessons so you feel more confident to go out and meet people, go on YouTube, something like that. The TV choices. I hardly ever watch any regular TV, but I will watch a lot, for me, Christian programming, but also educational programming, especially on relationships and things that will move us forward. It's your choice. It's always our choice what we're going to do with our time and how we work through that. So think about that too. And the old damaging thoughts and concerns, I think it would be very valuable to actually write them down. And it could be anything from, oh, my teacher said I would never succeed at anything, or my husband or significant other or wife said, well, gosh, you're never going to amount to anybody. Nobody's going to want you. Look at you. And so we should write those down so that we can actually see on there, okay, no, I have to switch those. I can't keep thinking about that. I can't keep letting that hurt me. I can't let that hold me down any longer. So no, I'm a valuable, very worthwhile person who has God's mind in me. So I am worth everything. And I have a heart. I have desires to help other people. And so write down anything that is positive for you. And, so many times then we can clear out the negative that has really hurt us because we're reworking all of those thoughts, all those conversations that have been going on in our mind and all the treatment and go, no, that's not me. That's not me at all. And so it's a splendid day when you wake up and you realize, oh my gosh, I really don't think that anymore. I really feel so much stronger now. I don't have to put up with that. I'm going forward. And so you will come to a point where something that's maybe been really difficult in your life, you're going, oh yeah, I don't attract those kind of people anymore. That's really powerful when you wake up one day and you go, oh my gosh, yeah. I notice that I'm no longer attracting those kind of people or experiences that are causing more negative experiences in my life. Nope, I'm going forward now. So always think about that and change your dialogue however many times. I think especially at first, we kind of have to constantly change our dialogue because the same thoughts and feelings are going to keep, like arrows hitting you in the head. And so you have to stop right then and go, hey, that's not true, and rework the thought into what a powerful, awesome person you are, even though you don't maybe feel like it, even though you may feel like a total loser. No, that's not true. You're God's kid. He doesn't make junk. So remember that. Okay, so then in your new list, again, changing your thoughts, but then also like I talked about what makes you feel alive. Oh, I went into this group, I met these people and I felt so good, I felt so strong. I just really enjoyed the conversations that I was having with this particular group because they're interested in the exact same things I'm interested in. Maybe you haven't pursued a career, for instance, in certain areas that they're interested in, but this is helping you go forward and making the connections to push you forward, to get involved with others. So always think about what makes you feel alive. What experiences do you still want that would make you feel stronger and more alive and happier than you've ever maybe experienced in your whole life? So think about it, think it through, and cut loose from those things that are making you feel negative, bad, whatever. And it takes work. It takes a lot of work. It's not like, okay, I'll just start thinking new thoughts and then everything will fall into place. No, that's not how it works. But give it the effort. Take the time to do it. Write down in a journal. I strongly encourage journaling so that you get all your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts out, your experiences out. You're not on a laptop, computer. You're not on your phone. You have your journal in your hands and you have a pen in your hands and you're actually thinking in a quiet place about all these things, because the more you think about these things, the more new thoughts are going to come into your mind. Think, oh yeah, I guess when that happened, it caused this other thing to happen that I already wrote down. So a lot of times you can go way back in your past and think about all the changes, the transitions, the experiences that you had that had caused issues in your life. And so really, really encourage you to do that. And it's easy to, like if I hear my text message do a little pop on the phone, it's like, okay, well, I'll just stop for a second and see what that was. And it's like, no, I'm guilty of it too. But in that case, we should probably put our phone in the other room so we don't hear those pops and really get into really what's going on in our life, because that's everything, absolutely everything. And so again, think from this day forward, never let failure define who you are, okay? It cannot define who you are. No experience should define who you are, but only allow the experiences to help you move one step closer to your breakthrough. Think, okay, think of the light bulb, think of different things where it's like, oh, 1,000, okay, this one doesn't work, now I got it. And so same with us. We go through a lot of steps sometimes to get to where we want to be or need to go. So don't feel like you're a failure just because the first, second, or third thing you did taking steps towards that goal didn't pan out the way you wanted. It takes time. People who have created fantastic inventions a lot of times had to try, fail, but every time they failed, they thought, okay, well, this one doesn't work then, so I'm going to take another step. And so don't think of failure as, wow, you're really a loser, but think of it as, okay, I know that didn't work, so how can I restructure what I'm doing, thinking, saying, in order to get into a place of, yeah, it worked this time. So be encouraged by that. And again, I shared this quote last time, but I think it's important, so I will again. And that is, if you are not being treated with love and respect, check your price tag. Perhaps you have marked yourself down. It is you who tells people what you are worth by what you accept. That's the key word, accept. What are you accepting from other people? Is it feeding good things into you or more negativity and low self-esteem into you? Get off the clearance rack and get behind the glass where the valuables are kept. Learn to value yourself. If you don't, no one else will. And I've seen so many testimonies lately, like especially from women who were trafficked and horribly abused, sold by their families, and all of this. And to see some of those women talk now, you would never, ever guess what horror they had been through, because they decided not to let that determine their value and their worth, but they became strong. They saw all the good things in them and the things that they wanted in life, and they didn't want to settle for the things that they had experienced. And so I see people with arms and legs gone. I watched a little girl who was, I don't know, probably about 5, gymnastics. She had no legs at all. I mean, she was flipping over with her hips and her arms. And here were all these little girls with arms and legs and all that. And, she's got about half of her body missing. And she wasn't going to let that upset her either. So many times when we see people who have gone through real tragedies, or they're doing all kinds of miraculous things and feats with their bodies and their exercise, and the swimmer who had no legs, and I've seen swimmer with no arms or legs, and were they going to let that affect them and say, you can't do anything, you're just going to have to sit in a chair and be fed? No, they didn't. It's like, nope, I'm not doing that. I need to go forward. I need to do what I love to do, whether I have all my body parts or not. I followed up recently on a young lady in Fresno that when she was 17, somebody hit the car so horribly that she not only had like glass and stuff in her back, but she lost her eyesight, and then she lost her eyeballs. And I saw a picture of her with sunglasses on. She's in college now, and no matter the horror, no matter that she no longer can see from the age of 17, she's going through college, she's doing life. And so a lot of times we just have to, I think, count our blessings. When I get really kind of sad and depressed and feel bad, I thought, whoa, wait a second, I've been in Haiti, I've seen things on TV too, and it's kind of like, you know what? We can see, we can hear, we can walk, we can talk. We have food to eat, we have a refrigerator. Thank you, Lord, I have a hot shower and I have a toothbrush. I'm not dipping my finger in the dirty water in the curb like some of the people in Haiti, And so a lot of times when we feel sad, disappointed, we need to have a gratitude party and think of all the things that you have And, I've seen one lady in Africa sitting at a tree, nothing, just a tree. And she said, "This is my home." That broke my heart, because it's like, you don't have any place to go to the bathroom. You don't have any place to wash your clothes. You don't have shelter if there's a storm coming. You have nothing. And she said, "This is my home." And I thought, wow, shame on me. And so a lot of times gratitude is what is going to pull us out of where we are and feeling bad, feeling down, and think, you know what? I really do have a lot to be thankful for. So instead of focusing on the things I don't have and that I want, I'm going to focus on all the things I do have and have been blessed with. So that's really, really critical, and I'd really encourage you to do that a lot. Okay, because think about, again, who and what is preventing you from the life that you want. And then, are these real roadblocks? For instance, you're caregiving, you're doing something where you can't move forward completely, but maybe you could take some steps, or they perceived. And a lot of that is fear. I've had fear of failure, fear of rejection all my life. And what does that do? That holds us back from all the potential. Held me back, it can hold you back. If you don't have that feeling of knowing you have potential and not look at everything in a negative. So roadblocks love to come in our way. We need to kick them out of the way. So kick the roadblocks out of the way by the choices you make and how you allow yourself to be treated by others as well. So, if you can't do a complete job or life change right now, what can you do as far as classes and new friends and helping other people, maybe being a mentor to a child or whatever the case may be? You all have, we all have things that we can do to be a blessing to others. And I'm working on a book about pursuing our passion at any age, because I think that's so important, especially as we get older. It's like, well, life's passed me by. I failed in this. I lost that. I'm broke, whatever the case may be. And no, we can pursue our goals at any age. When you see a 92-year-old man jumping out of an airplane, parachuting, and you see people who are first-time published authors in their 80s and 90s, and so many people, it's like, nope. I still have brains, I still have abilities to move forward and do things. So never, ever, ever, and I'm fighting this myself, let your age determine your life, how successful you can be, and the happiness that you deserve, yes you do, and that you can have. So think about that. And then no matter what you've been through, be energized by the thought, I get up, I walk, I fall down, or maybe get knocked down. Meanwhile, I keep dancing. We get up, we dust our knees off, we get back in the race. And no matter how many times you've been knocked down, and I've been knocked down so many I can't even think of, but you get back up, you get back in the race, you bless other people, you help them, you communicate with them, you show them how to get out of the mess maybe they're in as you're getting out of yours. And so the most effective authors for the most part, or speakers, are the ones who have been there, done that. They've had all kinds of experiences, but here's how they got out of it. Yes, book knowledge and education is critical, so I'm not putting that down. I'm just saying a lot of times I personally need to see someone who's been there, who's gone through all kinds of things, and look at them now. Look at the girl who grew up that I've mentioned before, in homeless shelters with her mom, and then she was admitted into Harvard with a full scholarship. So nothing is impossible, absolutely nothing. And if you need to be encouraged, start looking online, start looking at things from other people's experiences that were horrific, and yet they did not let it define them or block their life. I just talked to someone today, a friend whose 39-year-old son committed suicide, and dad walked down to the basement apartment his son had, and he had blown himself apart with a shotgun. Okay, that's going to be something that is really hard, and he's going to need a lot of help. The son, I guess, had made comments before about needing help, and sometimes people just go, oh, you're hurting right now, it'll be okay. So, always think of those things and how to help other people, especially if you're seeing that they're having a real downtime. Give them time, give them thought, give them eye contact, and listen to them and help them. So again, we get up, dust our knees off, and we get back in the race. So also being careful what you tolerate. Again, that's choices, that's treatment. You are teaching people how to treat you. This is so huge. It was huge for me. I tolerated this, I tolerated that throughout my life. What did that do? That taught some people how to treat me and what I would accept, instead of giving them the signals, no, that is not acceptable. You either treat me right or see ya. And so think about that too. And look through your own glasses. So many times, a lot of times I think parents want to live vicariously through their child, and maybe their son is like really good at computers. He's more of a nerd. He likes electronics, and I mean that very respectfully. And then the father's going, no, I want you to play football. I want you to do basketball. I want you, and it's like the kid's going, that's, why? That's not what I'm interested in. But yet the child does it because they feel like they need to. They want approval. They're trying to make somebody happy. And we do a lot of things in life to try to make somebody who's meaningful to us happy. And it's like, well, whose glasses am I wearing? Whose life am I seeing through these glasses? Theirs or mine? And so, a lot of times we have to change glasses and do what we know is best for us, where our heart is, the feelings, the experiences that we want to have. And then think, who's steering my ship? Am I the captain taking me to the destination that I want to go and not serving the purpose they have for me? So who's the captain of your ship? A lot of times we kind of let go of that, either through intimidation or not wanting to lose somebody, whatever the case may be. But who is the captain of your ship? Not their ship, your ship. Okay, so we manifest what we believe, not what we want. And that is so true, too, that we manifest what we believe. If we believe we're going to have wealth and love and all that, we manifest that. If we just think about other things, no, that doesn't happen. So you want to manifest what you believe, because you won't necessarily manifest what you want unless the steps are there to go forward and do that and to take care of it. Okay, so beginning in chapter 12, regaining your power to soar. So again, staying focused on the final outcome, because I know with me and a lot of people, we go back to focusing on what's going around. How can I go farther when I don't have any money to do this or that, et cetera? And so we always need to focus ahead on the final outcome. That's what people do who are Olympians, who are pageant winners, who are the best in sports, or any kind of big award, international or whatever the case may be, is they're focusing on the final outcome. We have to. So we start thinking things that are, just become natural to us. How we move, how we think, how we communicate. In sports, the most successful sports people are always that way. They visualize over and over and over again them achieving that thing that they want. And as they do that, then it just becomes so natural. And they're not fighting it anymore. They're not going out in fear, because in their mind, they've already achieved it. So in order to be really successful, a lot of times we have to focus and see ourselves achieving that, whether it's on stage, on court, wherever it may be. Okay, that is so very, very important to do that. And then also to support people along the way. Maybe you want to be a coach and you want to be in sports. And so you're working really hard to not only learn the proper positive communication skills, but just in your own athletic ability. And then you see this kid, I've seen these testimonies before, maybe there's a high school kid and the kid is just living in poverty, has nothing, feeling kind of down. You see potential, or even if you didn't. And so it's like reach out to other people that you can see need somebody to love. I heard, I think it was just a few days ago, about these high school boys, and there was a boy on the team, and they could see that he had potential. They could see that he had a good heart, but he had nothing. I mean, he had just like old clothes, and shoes were all worn apart. And these boys, I think there were 4 of them, and they had nice things. And so these boys got together in their own closets, shoes, clothes, everything, and then they kind of quietly and respectfully got together with this boy, not in front of everybody, not showing anybody else what they were doing, and they gave this kid nice things so he could enjoy them too. And this kid was just like amazed, and his heart was just so touched, and he was so grateful that these boys, it wasn't all about them. Oh, look at me, look how good I am, look at my clothes, look at all these things that I have. It was about, what can we do for this kid who deserves the same thing that we have? And so I just love that story, and that always blesses us. I'd rather give than receive all the time. So get into a giving heart too as you work to really bless others, and focus on the final outcome that you can help provide and lead other people to, besides your own outcomes that you want, success in your own life. And so I will continue on with this during the next program. So I wish you all the best. And if you ever want to contact me about any questions on any of these programs, you can just contact me at rita@soaringhigher.rocks. So have a very blessed day.